Hello there, Natty. All right, so it is 10:17 on August 5th in Delaware, where I am, and we're going to be starting our Zen study group, our gathering to look at the Zen teachings and hopefully become more enlightened and more wise together. We have Aliyah and Alex and Missy over on YouTube, and Ricky just joining here on Discord. So, got a nice group to practice together. Before we start, does anyone have any important Zen questions to ask or something to bring up that they'd like to check in about or share about? Today we will be going right to the source. That is to look at some teachings from Bodhidharma or some alleged teachings from Bodhidharma. Anything that far back is hagiographical, meaning that it is kind of the story of saints. Hagiography is just like the history of saints, and so naturally, if someone is a saint in your tradition, you're going to be very generous with how you share about their experiences and their story. So there's a certain kind of strong inherent bias in hagiography, especially considering that it's usually these religious groups that have maintained that or have preserved that story or that tradition. So there's some inherent bias, but there's also a lot of very direct teachings and wisdom that come from the Zen masters, so that the story is not necessarily so important or so essential, but the teachings themselves can stand on their own 2 feet. So let's take a few moments to really get comfortable and to wake up and find our heart, to find our breath, to find our body. Kind of check in and see what's going on here. Maybe have some tea or ring a bell. I think you won't hear it. No, you could hear it. Look at that. So we can listen to the sound of the bell and then find our breath, find our body, and just check in for a little bit. Becoming aware of the breath and the body is just like coming across a incredible treasure. So it should be naturally enjoyable and naturally interesting as we come across, as we find the breath here at this present moment. As we find the body to be here right now. Okay, so let's begin with our exploration of Zen teachings from the Zen teaching of Bodhidharma, translated by Red Pine. So if you've ever heard the word Zen, then Bodhidharma is the founder, the progenitor of Zen. And so it's quite nice kind of source material to look at, considering that. So be ready to not know as we get into this reading. The sutras say, no vehicle is the vehicle of Buddhas. Whoever realizes that the six senses, sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, and thought, whoever realizes that the six senses are not real, that the five aggregates, form, sensation, perception, impulse, and consciousness, are fictions, that no such things can be located anywhere in the body, understands the language of Buddhas. So this is an interesting idea, interesting direction. Whoever realizes that the six senses aren't real, that the five aggregates are fictions, that no such things can be located anywhere in the body, understands the language of Buddhas. The sutras say, the cave of five aggregates is the hall of Zen. The opening of the inner eye is the door of the great vehicle. So the cave of the five aggregates, that's our forms, feelings, perceptions, everything that we're kind of composed of, these heaps, forms, sensations, perceptions, impulse, and consciousness. The cave of five aggregates is the hall of Zen. The opening of the inner eye is the door of the great vehicle. What could be clearer? Not thinking about anything is Zen. Once you know this, walking, standing, sitting, or laying down, everything you do is Zen. To know that the mind is empty is to see the Buddha. The Buddha of the 10 directions have no mind. To see no mind is to see the Buddha. To give up yourself without regret is the greatest charity. To transcend motion and stillness is the highest meditation. Mortals keep moving, and arahats stay still. Arahat is a certain kind of enlightenment, certain stage of enlightenment. But the highest meditation surpasses both that of mortals and that of arahats. People who reach such understanding free themselves from all appearances without effort and cure all illnesses without treatment. Such is the power of great Zen. Using the mind to look for reality is delusion. Not using the mind to look for reality is awareness. Not using the mind to look for reality is awareness. Freeing oneself from words is liberation. Remaining unblemished by the dust of sensation is guarding the Dharma. Transcending life and death is leaving home. Not suffering another existence is reaching the way. Not creating delusions is enlightenment. Not engaging in ignorance is wisdom. No affliction is nirvana, and no appearance of the mind is the other shore. So what's going on here? Anyone have some kind of idea about what we're talking about? Samhain, is anything sticking out to you?
Remembering how you described the true nature of the mind as being luminous and not corrupt, I guess. Which I guess is how I interpret you saying that there is no or you won't understand things with your mind, in that most people's minds have concepts and things in them that will get in the way. I don't know.
Well, it says right here, freeing oneself from words is liberation. And also it says, and no appearance of the mind is the other shore. So not knowing, I think, ticks a lot of those boxes. Fran said on YouTube, accepting reality as it is. Sam Hain, that also came up for me about remembering in that direction about we think the mind is our corruptions. We think the mind is our anger, our greed, our delusion, our complicated thinking. But here, the idea is more about the mind as awareness itself and the empty cloud, empty sky, open sky. I remember when we were looking at Buddhadasa's teachings, that he was saying about the mind is just like a light, a burning bright light, limitless and vast and open, and that we get confused that the clouds are the sky. But in fact, it's not like that. That's not the mind. That's just a corruption, just a manifestation of certain conditions, a concoction. How about Moss? Moss, you were studying the teachings of Bodhidharma recently, right? So maybe you have something to add here.
It reminded me, some of the things that were read out reminded me of a quote by Milarepa, who is a Tibetan yogi of history, I think. And the quote was, "Between two thoughts, there is a Buddha." And it, sort of reminded me of like this, the clarity that Samhain was talking about, the sort of luminous nature, and then what you were saying just now about, perhaps people mistaking the clouds for the sky, but just in between our conceptual, the sort of impulses of our conceptual mind, there is this luminous nature that is always there. Yeah.
Not thinking about anything is Zen. Once you know this, walking, standing, sitting, or laying down, everything you do is Zen. To know that the mind is empty is to see the Buddha. The Buddhas of the 10 directions have no mind. To see no mind is to see the Buddha. So how about seeing no mind? How can we see no mind? Okay, we have a few questions, comments on YouTube. Robert says, I've heard about the middle way, which says not too much ascetics. Does this passage kind of conflict with that? You have to be more specific. B says having no expectations and open to the unknowns or what ifs in life. But if there is no mind, then there is no nothing, so there is no unknown, ? Very mysterious. Aliyah says, how do you approach these teachings in a way that doesn't create deep contemplation in the mind? This is profound and brings up a lot. Don't approach them that way. Of doesn't create deep contemplation. This is a space for deep contemplation, as fully and deeply as you can be invited and opened up. Then take advantage of that. Not thinking about anything is Zen. To see no mind is to see the Buddha. To see no mind is to see the Buddha. What is the Buddha? What is no mind?
I have a question. Is it because when we have no mind, we can join like everything in the same moment?
What? What you say?
Is it when we have no mind, no thoughts, is it at that moment we are the Buddha or we see the Buddha? Is it because at that moment we can join everything at that moment? So there is no more any frontière, compartmentation, and everything is so like a totality. I'm sorry, my English is not very good.
I'm sure it's a very poetic question in French.
Well, we can get our meditation makes us having no thought anymore. If it's the Buddha, is it because at that moment we join the totality of the universe?
What are you experiencing at this moment? Are you experiencing no mind?
When you say no mind, is it no thoughts?
Are you experiencing no thoughts at this moment?
At this moment, no. But when I'm meditating, I can feel sometimes that I can reach a level with no thought. And I thought it was, when you say no mind, I thought it was the same thing as no thought.
We can say this is an appearance. Specifically, when we talk about these states of no mind, it's very active. It's something you're embodying now, or it's something that's irrelevant. So past experiences of no mind couldn't be brought with us or carried with us or used to some end. But rather it's the state of your mind at this moment.
Okay.
So you should never confuse what you think about it or what you think about a past experience with that experience itself
Mhm.
in this present moment.
D'accord, merci.
To see no mind is to see the Buddha. How about you, Christina? Have you seen the Buddha lately?
Uh, I try to see Buddha. I think about it, walking meditation, and I have it with me every day, really. Sometimes I get lost in everything else, but I'm trying to. Yes. I'm trying to understand what you're saying, I think.
Me too.
Good.
Okay, let's okay, a couple comments on YouTube, then we'll read a little bit more. Michelle Walker says, like babies again and again. Watch the babies in nature. They obviously don't mind. Emptiness is form. And then B says, so having no thought makes you open to the oneness of the universe in its most raw original form. I think that's what she is trying to ask. Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yes, it was that exactly. Thank you.
I think so. I think it's something like that. It opens us up to a more true experience that is not so confounded by appearances and is defined by freedom rather than, well, it's not defined by anything. And that's a certain kind of freedom. Okay, and Shashank says, watching as a spectator this passage we go through instead of thinking it as a body and mind. Okay, right. So let's continue reading a little bit here. To give up yourself without regret is the greatest charity. To transcend motion and stillness is the highest meditation. Mortals keep moving. Mortals is like normal people. Normal people keep moving and arahats stay still. But the highest meditation surpasses both that of mortals and that of arahats. People who reach such understanding free themselves from all appearances without effort and cure all illnesses without treatment. Such is the power of great Zen. Okay, so how can we free ourselves from appearances without effort? How is it possible to free yourself from appearances without any effort? What is it you need to free yourself from? Okay, Amanda Hensig on YouTube says, relax back into the body and allow pure awareness. Relax back into the body and allow pure awareness. Okay, Moss says, resting in awareness, one is already free from appearances. Could you say more about that, Moss? You share with us?
The sort of effortlessness of resting in awareness enables us to not identify with appearance, reminds us that appearance is the cloud, and the cloud doesn't change the nature of the sky, and awareness is the sky. Yeah, it's not something that's effortful. Yeah, not sure I can bring any more clarity to it than that.
Well, I can remember recently Master Linji. We were reading from Master Linji, and he was saying that if I were to express the real Zen teachings, no one would come here. No one would stay. No one would listen. So by attempting to express it, we can, in some sense, pollute it or misconstrue it.
I think words can only ever point in the general direction.
And yet there's so much here, so much to work with. B is saying, I think says LOLY about the statement that Linji made, and I think it's related to why would you speak? Why would you act? Why would you do anything contrived? You will, if you really knew the truth, you would just be ordinary, and ordinariness doesn't attract anything or anyone most of the time. I like to think of these teachings as a kind of a medicine for the mind, but also I don't like the word medicine. I think it's too gentle. I think it's like a poison. The kind of sickness that we all have sometimes of being very selfish or complicated thinking. I think a medicine wouldn't quite do it. It needs a certain kind of poison, and this is the poison of Zen. Okay, let's continue reading a bit more. Let's see. So people who reach such an understanding of the highest meditation surpassing stillness and movement, So the highest meditation being beyond stillness or movement. People who reach such understanding free themselves from all appearances without effort and cure all illnesses without treatment. Such is the power of great Zen. Now here we go. Using the mind to look for reality is delusion. Not using the mind to look for reality is awareness. Freeing oneself from words is liberation. Freeing oneself from words is liberation. I think this is probably why a lot of people enjoy meditation, because there's this space, this experience of being free from words, not relying on words, not relying on stories. Remaining unblemished by the dust of sensation is guarding the Dharma. Remaining unblemished by the dust of sensation is guarding the Dharma. Dharma here meaning the truth. Transcending life and death is leaving home. Not suffering another existence is reaching the way. Not creating delusions is enlightenment. Not engaging in ignorance is wisdom. No affliction is nirvana, and no appearance of the mind is the other shore. When you're deluded, this shore exists. When you wake up, it doesn't exist. Mortals stay on this shore, but those who discover the greatest of all vehicles, vehicles meaning a way of moving forward, going to a different place, making the way. When you're deluded, this shore exists. When you wake up, it doesn't exist. Mortals stay on this shore, but those who discover the greatest of all vehicles stay on neither this shore nor the other shore. They are able to leave both shores. Those who see the other shore as different from this shore don't understand Zen. So that is, those people who understand enlightenment as being different from the ordinary state. Those who understand nirvana as being this better, more special, higher state of experience, as being other than where we are right now, don't understand Zen. Delusion, yes, Kit, go ahead.
I have to head out to work, but thank you everyone for your time. And sometimes I feel like the point of Zen readings is not to get the point. Anyways, have a good day. Thank you, everyone.
Delusion means mortality. Easy way to understand this is if you get a strong idea in your mind of something you want or some idea about yourself, that means that that's going to die. That idea about yourself, that image you want to get into or who you want to be or whatever, if you get a strong idea like that in your mind, a delusion, means you're mortal, you're subject to death. Whatever you hang on to and are involved with is subject to impermanence, so then you become immortal. Delusion means mortality, and awareness means Buddhahood. So just to be aware rather than fixated on something. They are not the same, and they are not different. It is just that people distinguish delusion from awareness. When we are deluded, there is a world to escape. When we are aware, there is nothing to escape. An uninhabited place is one without greed, anger, or delusion. Greed is the realm of desire, anger the realm of form, and delusion the formless realm. When a thought begins, you enter the three realms. When a thought ends, you leave the three realms. The beginning or end of the three realms, the existence or non-existence of anything, depends on the mind. This applies to everything, even to such inanimate objects as rocks and sticks. Now, whoever knows that the mind is a fiction and devoid of anything real, knows that their own mind neither exists nor doesn't exist. Mortals keep creating the mind, claiming it exists. And arahats, people with not full enlightenment but quite enlightened, self-enlightened, mortals keep creating the mind, claiming it exists, and arahats keep negating the mind, claiming it doesn't exist. But bodhisattvas and Buddhas neither create nor negate the mind. This is what's meant by the mind that neither exists nor doesn't exist. The mind that neither exists nor doesn't exist is called the middle way, the path that avoids realism and nihilism, existence and non-existence. If you use your mind to study reality, you won't understand either your mind or reality. If you study reality without using your mind, you will understand both. Those who don't understand understanding, and those who understand not understanding. Let's run it back. If you use your mind to study reality, you won't understand either your mind or reality. If you study reality without using your mind, you will understand both. Those who do not understand understanding. And those who understand not understanding. Samhain, Suke, which one are you?
I feel like I'm very much both. Often I think I alternate.
Yeah, me too. So those who don't understand understanding. And those who understand not understanding. People capable of true vision know that the mind is empty. They transcend both understanding and not understanding. The absence of both understanding and not understanding is true understanding. Seen with true vision, form isn't simply form, because form depends on mind. And mind isn't simply mind, because mind depends on form. Mind and form create and negate each other. That which exists in relationship to that which doesn't exist. And that which doesn't exist in relation to that which exists. This is true vision. By means of such vision, nothing is seen, and nothing is not seen. Such vision reaches throughout the 10 directions without seeing. Because nothing is seen, because not seeing is seen, because seeing isn't seeing. What mortals see are delusions. True vision is detached from seeing. The mind and the world are opposites, and vision arises where they meet. When your mind doesn't stir inside, the world doesn't arise outside. When the world and the mind are both transparent, this is true vision, and such understanding is true understanding. To see nothing is to perceive the way, and to understand nothing is to know the Dharma. Because seeing is neither seeing nor not seeing, and because understanding is neither understanding nor not understanding. Seeing without seeing is true vision. Understanding without understanding is true understanding. So who here understands?
Well, I think I have a question along the same lines of you asking who understands, and that how could someone even evaluate their own progress along this path to enlightenment? Because it seems like the mortals who don't understand would be deluded into thinking that they do understand, and then the arhats who understand that they don't understand would think that they understand, but they really don't understand because they're understanding. And then the person who's actually transcendent actually does understand. So you have three groups of people who all think they understand something, but some of them don't. And it seems like it would be hard to figure out where you are on that journey.
Understanding without understanding is true understanding. Understanding is neither understanding nor not understanding. If you are going around and looking for someone to tell you if you understand or not, then you are subject to what other people think and believe. But if you can understand that understanding is neither understanding nor not understanding, then you can understand understanding without understanding is true understanding. If we're using the workbook, then go ahead, Ayla. Do you want to share something? Ayla Michelle? Try to speak? No, couldn't hear. Okay, Michelle Walker, we can't hear you, Michelle Demir. I'm sorry. Maybe your technical settings on your computer. But we have a call in. We have a text in from 10-year-old James. Michelle Walker is relaying the message. 10-year-old James says the clue is nothing. So there's your clue, Jonathan. And if you really want to know if you get it or not, you should ask a 10-year-old.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, ask a child. They'll know. No, Michelle Demir, you might need to write a message because your microphone not working. What's essential here is that this is opening us up for no mind, not for more mind. And it's opening us up to understand not understanding. Because most of the things in your life, you're not going to understand. You don't understand how rocks are made. You didn't see it, you didn't experience it. You can't see particularly closely into it. You know, there's not a video of rocks being made. Right, Christina? Have you ever seen a rock being made or formed?
No, I haven't.
And each rock is unique. So most things we're not going to understand. So understanding, not understanding is quite valuable, quite important. And it's all a kind of invitation bringing us into this meditative, introspective, contemplative quality of mind. It supports our practice. It supports our awareness itself opening, deepening. And we're not here to talk about it. right? What's that? What good is that going to do? Write a blog about it. We're here to experience no mind, or to experience whatever's happening right now. Okay, Ayla Michelle Demir here on Discord wrote a message, and they said, I was just going to say that I understand, and this is somewhat of an intellectual exercise that doesn't take us very far and may do some harm, i.e., confusion. Yes. Be prepared to be confused, especially if you invest a lot of time in meditation. Be prepared to be confused, but also to not take it too seriously. It's not a puzzle to solve. It's the heart. It's the rain. It's the moon. But it's also none of those things. Okay, Space says, isn't this type of understanding experiential and not expressed in words? Great. Marn M says, is it to go beyond understanding our own limitations of consciousness and our reality? Maybe. But it's most importantly to face. What are you going to think yourself through? You're going to think yourself through driving a car? You're going to think yourself through eating a meal? You're going to think yourself through living your life? No. So we develop a relationship here with not thinking ourselves through everything. What do you need to think about, Nothing. Not much. Okay, so here we go. To see nothing is to perceive the way. To understand nothing is to know the Dharma. Because seeing is neither seeing nor not seeing. And because understanding is neither understanding nor not understanding. That is, that it's just like this. It's not what you can say it is. Seeing without seeing is true vision, just seeing, seeing only. Not just in the way that we think about seeing. Understanding without understanding is true understanding. No mind is the Buddha. Having no thoughts is nirvana. These are the kinds of topics, if we can approach them in a way that doesn't, destabilize us. These are the kind of topics that are worthwhile to be confused about. If we can be confused about this, then we don't need to be confused about Tim and Joe and Tam at the grocery store, or these kind of interpersonal relationships, things that come up. We can take care of them from a place of wisdom and sincerity. But we don't need to be confused about them, because this brings our thinking, brings our consideration, brings our introspection to a deeper, more refined, more sharp kind of contemplative level, insightful level. So what's there to be confused about politics or something like that? It's just to be used only. If you understand anything, you don't understand. Only when you understand nothing is it true understanding. Okay, so that's our 1 hour mark here. Gold looks like he doesn't understand anything. So let's take a little bit of time to not understand anything together, so we can find a comfortable meditation position, and for most all questions, don't overthink it, and don't just do your best. And we do our best not from a I've got to do something, I've got to change something, or I got to figure this out. But we do our best from a place of sincerity and balance and patience. We just try to take care the best that we can of that situation. Simple, humble, open-hearted, kindness in mind. We try to take care of that situation, whatever it might be, in the best way we can. Okay, so let's find a meditation position, comfortable and stable. We can close our eyes and begin to become aware of the inside. Turn our mind to the inside. And rather than prioritizing any particular thoughts or ideas right now, we can begin to prioritize the breath and the heart. We can begin to notice the temperature of the air around us. We can notice the support of being held by whatever we are sitting on. Allowing the mind to come home to the body. And feeling this sense of gratitude and appreciation for the body as it is right now. We can feel a sense of gratitude and joy for our body sitting here at this moment. maybe for a moment to not focus much on understanding, but rather feeling. Feeling the breath, the heart beating, feeling the gravity of the body. Noticing just for a moment this truth of just sitting here, breathing and aware. Enjoying this moment. Alone, together. So to finish our session together today, we'll do a chanting of the Heart Sutra. So if you happen to have it in front of you, you can follow along with me. As a matter of fact, I can put it on screen. I don't know if anyone will be able to read it, but I can try to put it there anyway. So you're welcome to follow along if you want to try, but also simply invited to listen deeply from the heart. Okay, so we can all bring our hands together and we'll chant the Heart Sutra to end our session together. Mahaprajna Paramita Heart Sutra. When the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara was coursing in the deeper Prajna Paramita, she realized that all the 5 skandhas are empty, thereby transcending all sufferings. O Shariputra, form is not other than emptiness, and emptiness not other than form. Form is precisely emptiness, and emptiness precisely form. So also are sensation, perception, volition, and consciousness. Shariputra, this form of the emptiness of all dharmas is non-arising, non-perishing, non-impure, non-pure, non-increasing, and non-decreasing. Therefore, in emptiness there is no form, and no sensation, perception, volition, or consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or mind. No sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, or thought. There is no realm of the eye, all the way up to no realm of consciousness. There is no ignorance, and also no ending of ignorance, through to no aging and death, and no ending of aging and death. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, and no path. There is no wisdom, and also no attainment. With nothing to attain, bodhisattvas relying on prajna paramita have no obstructions in their minds. Having no obstructions, there is no fear, and departing far from confusion and delusion, they reach ultimate nirvana. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future, relying on prajna paramita, attain supreme Buddhahood. Therefore, the prajna paramita is the great mantra of power, the great mantra of wisdom, the supreme mantra and the unequaled mantra which is able to transcend all sufferings. It is real and not false. Therefore he uttered the mantra of prajna paramita by saying, Gate, gate, para, gate, para, somgate, bodhi, svaha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We can all make a bow. Okay. So, I'm so grateful, I'm so appreciative for you all being here and participating together in these quite esoteric teachings, but quite worthwhile teachings to open up our heart to in a safe space and with community support. So this evening, it's Friday, isn't it? So we've got a big Friday party this evening, and that is our Buddha Book Club, looking at the text Flowers in the Dark, reclaiming our power to heal from trauma through mindfulness. So I invite you all to join for that this evening at 8 p.m. New York City time. It's about 8 hours from now. So I hope I'll see you there. And until then, don't take yourself too seriously and enjoy your body and enjoy your mind. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Bate.
Thank you, Moss. Thank you, everyone. And YouTubers, don't forget to like. You can offer the like. Yeah. Thank you.